Happy Mother's Day 2020. You've reached the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living in Pasadena, California, live streaming of God's Party. I'm Reverend Michael Bernard, your assistant minister and guide on the side, and it is my pleasure today to let you know that we've got our beloved Chris Glick, musical director, licensed practitioner. He is tickling the keyboards, and he will be leading us in the Invocation and a special inspirational reading for this Mother's Day. And we've got Connie Rouse in the house, so buckle up. You are sure to be delighted by her loving presence. On the Facebook moderator role today is Louise Mucha. So please feel free to chat and send each other love while you are online in between the meditations and other times. Also, Mindy Morrison is hosting the Zoom platform at ahiah.com/virtual, so you can log into Zoom and watch the Facebook live streaming from there if you choose. We've got Derek on video, Gloria on sound, and we are sure to enjoy this Mother's Day rendition of God's Party. So just take a moment to draw a deep centering breath as we prepare for our meditation. Get ready for Chris Glick's inspirational reading and invocation. Namaste.
You are the one I love, on high and up above. I will only be what you would have me be. I will only do what you will do through me. I am the one you love, no matter what I've done. For the past was only made to bring me here, where I choose to be awake, forever clear that I am you, walking up to the light, walking up to the light, walking up into my life. I am walking to you. I am the Holy One, your blessed and holy Son. I am standing in the truth and with no fear, for I know without a doubt that I am here to live as you, walking up to the light, walking up to the light, walking up into my life. I am walking to walking as you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Ahiah. Wonderful to have you here. And I know that you're all joining today for this wonderful day that we have, which is Mother's Day. So I just want to wish a special welcome to all the mothers in the universe and all the women. Thank you for being here. God bless you. And I would like to, with that energy, begin the invocation. My name is Chris Glick. I'm a practitioner at Ahiah. And this is just a glorious day. Open your eyes if you feel. Close your eyes if you feel. Take in the garden of God's delights. What is it for today that we have? That is what we're breathing in. As we breathe, we think just this goodness of God coming in. As we breathe out, we just let it be love. Let it be the love for all, for myself, for you. This breath of God is the connection. I am that which God is. As I am, God is. As you are, God is. In that connection, we are unified. And I just know that this day is a glorious, wonderful day of celebration. All the mothers just being there because they are making all this evolution of human love and life spiral forward as it does. And I just thank you. I thank all of us. I thank God for this joy. I thank the law. And I release this word into the law of God, knowing that it just says yes. And so we say together, and so it is. Amen and amen. Thank you. And join me in listening to the reading today. This is from the Science of Mind. It was a couple days ago. The title is Transcendence. I especially like this title today as it reminds us what mothers are actually about. They are the transcendence. All humanity, all life comes out of this wonderful thing called motherhood. And that is why transcendence is so important. If nothing within us vibrates on the plane of discord and violence, then pass us by. This is Frederick Bale's Basic Principles of the Science of Mind. Ernest Holmes says, so free yourself from the illusions of your senses. Early Science of Mind scholar Frederick Bales describes 3 possible approaches when facing a challenge: fight, flight, and transcendence. Fighting against conditions fuels the conditions. It undermines and drags our potential to the same density as the unwanted circumstance. Bales encouraged us to cease our fighting and instead lose all desire for identifying with the story. He wrote, only that which finds response in us can attach itself to us. Fleeing without mental clearing fortifies the fear we're trying to escape. It welcomes it to piggyback along, no matter how far we run. This choice keeps us forever searching for an elusive outer rescue. How then do we welcome the alternative, transcendence? Science of Mind teaches that each of us has 2 tenets, a large and a small self. When the large self is ignored and the small self is left to rule, we recycle conflict and limitation. When the larger is invoked, we embody a power without aggression or authoritative assertion of itself that we cannot produce a lie. The conscious authority of the larger self transcends any discord of the smaller self, for it knows only harmony is real. Choosing the path of transcendence is a high calling. There are daily attachments and energized debates that long to legitimize finite exceptions of the infinite, but to be in the world of the small, but not of small thinking, is our greatest work. To choose transcendence where there was bondage, unworthiness, and fear is to bring the nature of heaven to earth. So the affirmation today is, I am a vessel for transcendence. Thank you. God bless you.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I know you haven't made your mind up yet, but I would never do you wrong. I've noticed from the moment that we met, no doubt in my mind where you belong. I'd go hungry, I'd go black and blue, I'd go crawling down the avenue. No, there's nothing that I wouldn't do to make you feel my love. The storms are raging on the rolling sea and on the highway of regret. The winds of change are blowing wild and free. You ain't seen nothing like me yet. I could make you happy, make your dreams come true. Nothing that I wouldn't do. Go to the ends of the earth for you to make you feel my love, to make you feel my love.
Oh, thank you, Connie. That's one of my favorite songs, Feel My Love. And one of the reasons I love that song so much is because I always imagine it's Spirit asking me if I feel the love that Spirit is. And what I know is that Spirit is always, always, always that love, 100% love. And so sometimes we feel a little bit more and sometimes feel it a little bit less, but it has nothing to do with Spirit. It has all to do with us. It's us that's changing. So if we want to feel the power, the presence that God is, feel that loving presence, I know that it's me that needs to be more aware of it. My name is Reverend Scott Olson. I'm the senior minister here at Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living, and it's truly my pleasure to be here virtually with you. I'm so happy that you've decided to join us here in virtual land on our Facebook Live, or however else you've managed to find us. We love having you here. We love connecting with you. Right now, this is how we're connecting with our community, and this is how we're inviting new people to join our community. And I'm loving that you're here right now. I'm also very grateful for the people who were here last week. I'm very grateful that for those of you who typed in a name and put that into the chat room, because I looked at all those names, I brought them into my prayers throughout the week. And I'm inviting you to do the same thing this week. If you have somebody who is one of your loved ones, one of your friends, somebody who's affected by the coronavirus, maybe they have it, maybe they're a first-line person, one of our medical professionals, or people working in the grocery stores and other places. If they're out there and we're staying inside here, then I would love to pray for them. There's also people that are out there that are feeling financial hardship right now, so I would love to pray for prosperity for you also. So however that's happening, please, throw a few names into the chat room. I'd love to see them. And so I'd like to welcome you to our Mother's Day Sunday celebration. I'm so glad that you've decided to join us here today. I know that this particular Mother's Day is not the same as we've had in the past. There's not going to be any big family gatherings there. And I know that there's, we won't have the opportunity to take our moms to brunch or anything like that today. So it's very different. I know also in times like this that some of our moms are probably worried about us. They always worry about us. But I know we are probably worrying a little bit about our moms too, given the whole coronavirus. And so this, I think, is a great time for us to engage in prayer. And at the end of service, at the end of the talk, I'm going to be doing a prayer that will kind of put the arms around everyone. And so maybe you'd like to ask your mom to watch this video and to feel that prayer. You can always invite people by sending them to our Facebook Live stream, or you can also go to our website, ahiah.com/videos, and it's got all the links to our past videos. It also shows you an easy way to share it on Facebook and invite your friends to come along. We'd love to see you there. So this month is month of May. The theme for this month is Listen to Your Heart. And I think that we all kind of recognize that our heart is our connection to our soul. So when we're listening to our heart, what we're really doing is we're listening to our intuition. So as we celebrate this Mother's Day, I think it's a wonderful time for us to celebrate the connection at the heart level that we have with each and every person. So as we listen to our heart, we connect with other people. And as we listen to our heart, we get inspirations for what to do to help other people or to be with other people in a more meaningful way. And that's inspiration that doesn't come from our mind, it comes from our heart. Last week, we talked to the talk title of Seed of the Soul, and I shared an affirmation that's showing on the screen right now. It says, I'm stirred but not shaken. And I think that's a wonderful affirmation, because as we stir our soul a little bit, what shows up is love. And so we're never shaken when love shows up. So let's take that into this Mother's Day and see how some more love shows up. So I'd like to ask Reverend Mike to come on up from his home and tell us a little bit more about what he knows about listening to your heart.
A blessed Mother's Day, family. You know, one of my favorite memories of my mom is a photo of her and our family dog, Sophie. This photo that you see now just reminds me of my mother's love. Now, Sophie loved my mother. Sophie loved my mother more than she loved me, and I fed her. But when Mom came over, Sophie was up in her arms, and she and my mother had a love fest. You know, Mother's Day is the time of year when we remember the divine quality of the mother, the divine mother. And the quality of the divine mother is present everywhere, in everyone. Everything has masculine and feminine qualities. And the mother's love is one that we associate with nurturing, with caring, with support, and completely unconditional loving. I'm reminded of Yogananda writing about seeing God as the divine mother who never denies the cries of her children. And when I think of that description of the divine mother, it really opens my heart. It connects me to that place of loving inside. For I know that the divine mother knows all about me and loves me anyway. And you know, I have an example of a story that reminds me of that. And it was a story about when I used to be kind of bad. Yeah, I was a troublesome youth. I got into a lot. I was very imaginative, very creative. And if there was something that could go wrong, I'd figure out how to make that happen. Well, on this particular time, my best friend and I, Billy Maddox, we decided to go out and hustle bottles. And you know, on the south side of Chicago, there were a lot of bottles, a lot of neighbors, and we made some bank. So this day, we probably had made close to $1. And we found a little candy store down on 63rd Street. We went and bought a bunch of bubble gum, and this was special bubble gum because it had tattoos in it. Now, on this particular day, I had lost my mind because my aunt, who helped to raise me, had given me specific marching orders. She told me, boy, don't you come in this house with no tattoos on you, because that's just common. We don't do tattoos. So I had already been given explicit directions not to put a tattoo anywhere on my body. But on this particular day, I plead temporary insanity because I lost my mind. When my friend Randy licked his hand and put that tattoo on him, I thought, wow, that's a great idea. So I put one on me. He put one on the other hand. I put one on my other hand. Then he put one on his arm. I put one on my arm. The next thing you know, we had these tattoos all over our face, our neck. We were literally covered in tattoos. And boy, we had a ball. We had chewed up so much bubble gum. I guess we kind of had a little sugar high going. We were kicking cans and running through the neighborhood. And then it occurred to us, we had to get home before the street lights came on. And we were in a panic, like, uh-oh, we got to get home. So Randy ran to his home. I ran down the street, got in the house right before the street lights came on. And I was like, whew, I made it. Walked in the kitchen. My auntie was in there humming those spiritual songs, talking to God like she always was, cooking. And I was like, what's for dinner, Mama? She took one look at me. She said, boy, where on earth did you get those tattoos from? And then it occurred to me, oh, yeah, tattoos. I had to make up something quick. A man put them on me. She said, a man? What man? That man down there on 63rd Street. 63rd Street? Where? In the basement. The basement? What basement? Oh, Lord have mercy. Somebody done hurt my child. Let me get on this when she called my mother. She called my uncle, called my other uncle. The next thing I knew, my mother was there, my uncles were there. The police came, and I mean, these were the police in suits, big black cars. And they threw me in the back of the car. They were like, we're going down here to find this man. So I told them, well, Randy was with me. We better go get him. So they went down the street, got Randy. He's covered in tattoos too. Took us down on 63rd Street, and we looking around. So where's the basement? And I said, well, I think that's the door right over there. Yeah, that looks like it. So they go over to the door. They knock on the door. I'm thinking to myself, we're cool. There's nobody in that basement. Nothing's going to happen. Lo and behold, the door creaked open. This poor man comes to the door, and his eyes are like big as half dollars. He is scared to death. He sees all these police, all these people, and they start questioning him. And so in the meantime, I'm thinking to myself, uh-oh, I'm sending this man to the electric chair. I gotta do something, please. I said a little prayer inside. And right at that time, my mother took one look at me and she said, wait a minute, hold it, I know my child. Let me talk to him. She said, baby, tell me the truth. Now, I'm not gonna whoop you. Tell me the truth. What happened? When did you get those tattoos? And I lost it. I broke down. Okay, all right, okay, please don't send that man to the electric chair. I did it. We bought the tattoos. We put them on. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. And my mother loved me anyway. That wasn't the only thing that I did in my childhood. But my mother continued to love me anyway. Just like the Divine Mother loves us anyway. There is no darkness, no stain, no pain great enough to ever separate us from that Divine Mother, whose love we can always feel when we listen to our hearts, when we just turn within and call on that Divine Mother who never denies the cries of her children. And so on this day, in this moment, I'm inviting you to just take a moment, to just turn within and connect with your heart and call on the love of that Divine Mother who loves us beyond measure. What a blessing it is to remember that love and to know that you and I are the place where it shows up. Namaste, family, and a blessed Mother's Day to you and yours.
So the title for today's talk is the same as the theme. It's Listen to Your Heart. And I know that whenever I say that I'm going to listen to my intuition, I'm kind of listening to my heart. But it's funny that I use that word listen, right? I say that my intuition told me, so I must have been listening to it for it to tell me something. And I find that interesting because the truth is that we've been listening our entire lives. Because when we were just a fetus in our mother's belly and we were growing, the first sense that we got developed was the sense of hearing. And so the first thing that we sensed was our mother's heartbeat, that ba-boom, ba-boom, which I think kind of sticks with us for our entire life. I know when I was a child, I was kind of mesmerized with heartbeats. I would love to listen to people's hearts and hear that steady rhythm. And I know that I continue to listen and listen to my heart. And I hear that intuition telling me things. Now, fortunately, it doesn't tell me things. I don't hear voices. That might be a little bit crazy. But what I do hear, every once in a while, I kind of hear a word. A word kind of comes into mind. But mostly what is happening is I'm getting impressions, or I'm getting ideas of things or knowings that I never should know. Things that I wouldn't know. And I get inspired to do things when I'm listening to my heart. Now, what I know is that as we listen to our heart, what we're listening to is that still small voice, that intuition that is guiding us, that is showing us the way forward. And that it is based on all the wisdom, intelligence, and clarity that exists in the universe, which is an infinite amount. So why wouldn't I listen to it? Because when I listen to it, what I find in my life is that wonderful things happen. So I heard a story in our 9 o'clock prayer and conversation this week. Actually, I heard the beginning of the story a couple of weeks ago. And the story is from Linda White, one of our congregants. And she was saying that she has a boat down in Long Beach and that she's been getting to know her neighbors. And I don't know if you've ever been to a marina, but if you have, then you would know that those boats are very closely placed. There's just the gangway, between the boats separating them. And so if you're on the back of your boat and your neighbor's on the back of his boat, it's almost like you're in the same living room together. And so you get to know your neighbors. And she was telling me that she got to know this man and wife on a boat close to hers. And she got to know their new 9-year-old daughter. Her name is Crystal. And Crystal is a foster child. And that always makes my ears perk up when I hear that, because Gabriel and I, my husband and I, have adopted 3 children out of foster care. And so I have a real affinity for parents that are willing and able to do that. And so Crystal has newly moved into their home, and they've become new parents of Crystal. And I think it's so lovely, and it really touched my heart. But then she told me more this last week. She said that she had come to Ahiah to drop something off. And while she was here in the back outside, she saw a fully formed, nicely formed bird's nest. It was just laying on the ground. It had maybe gotten blown out of a tree or out of the eaves. And so she picked it up, and she had a calling to kind of take it with her. So she did. She took it home. And then later she thought, well, I could give this to Crystal. And so she got some crayons and some other things that she had around the house. And she took that, and the next time she was in Long Beach this last week, she gave those things to Crystal. And what I know is I don't know Crystal, and I don't know the particular story for Crystal. But what I know about foster children is that they get moved around a lot, and they don't have a home. And here Crystal is showing up in this new home. And what Linda did was she gave her a symbol. She gave her a symbol of a home that is her own little home, while she has moved into her new big home. And I think that's so beautiful. And what I think is that Linda listened to her heart in that whole entire process of meeting Crystal and getting the nest and then giving it to her. Wonderful things happen when we listen to our heart. So this is the middle of May, and it's not just Mother's Day. It's also the time where across the nation, kids are graduating from high school, and older kids, young adults, are graduating from college. At least normally. Normally they would have this big graduation celebration and party for parents and friends. And this year, I know that's not happening. And this year, my son is supposed to be graduating. He's graduating from, he's a senior in high school right now. And he will be graduating from high school with a diploma, but he won't have a real graduation ceremony. And so I told you last week, I showed you a clip at the very end of service last week from Some Good News by John Krasinski. It's kind of a video thing on the internet. And he puts it together, and he's been doing wonderful things, and I love watching it because it's all uplifting stuff. And one of the things that he did this week was he had a segment where he gave these graduates a virtual graduation ceremony. And so he had a part where he had a bunch of valedictorians from across the nation come in and send them video clips, and then he clipped them all together, mashed them all up into one valedictorian speech, which was really, really nice. But then he followed that up, and for the commencement speech part, what he did was he had all these valedictorians give him a question. And then he went out and found celebrities that would answer the questions. One of the celebrities was Oprah Winfrey, and she was wonderful. But my favorite was actually Steven Spielberg. The young man that asked Steven Spielberg a question, he asked him this question. He said, "How do you still hold on to your dreams when the world does not seem supportive of them? How do you hold on to your dreams?" And Steven Spielberg's answer was magnificent. He said, "If we are in service to our dreams, rather than our dreams being in service to us, then it allows us to get over our fear, and it allows us to become something greater than our past." Greater than our past. And I think if we follow our dreams rather than our dreams following us, that's the path to having a wonderful, wonderful life. And so that begs the question of, where do our dreams come from then? How do I know what my dream is? And I think one of the mistakes that happens in the world so often is that people look for their dreams out there. What's telling me what my dream is out there? What do I think is my dream? And in reality, what they need to be doing, I believe, is listening to their heart, because their heart will lead them to their dream. And if they stay in service to their dream, wonderful things happen. The answer always lies within. And what I also know is that when we follow our dreams, that what shows up makes us proud. We are proud of our lives when we follow our dream. And our moms are proud of us too. So I just want to wrap up our service right now, our talk right now, with an affirmation that's showing on the screen. If you would say it with me. I practice my gift of complete freedom by listening to my higher self, and I completely trust the process. That's a wonderful affirmation. So, as you go out into your week, what I would like you to remember is to have a wonderful Mother's Day. Many of our Mother's Days this year are going to be virtual Mother's Days. And I hope that you enjoy that if that's what you have. And if your mother is already passed, then join me as I remember my mother and the mothers of all the people who have passed. And also all the mothers that are here, because what we really want to do is connect with this idea of motherhood and the love that is intrinsic with that ideal motherhood that is out there. And I'd also like you to remember to listen inside to your own heart. Listen to that still small voice, to your intuition. And I think right now is a perfect time to have a little bit more empathy, which is what we get when we listen to our heart. And when we have a little bit more empathy, I think the time right now is calling us to have empathy for everyone in the world and empathy for the world itself. And as always, if you're not quite sure which way to go, what I'd like you to know is that Spirit will always guide you. Thank you, and namaste. And so now if you would just join me in anchoring some of these ideas in with a little prayer. I'm just knowing right here, right now, that this life, this power, this presence that God is fully, fully present right here, right now, as it must always be. I am recognizing the love and the peace and the joy that God is filling my life and filling your life. I recognize that love that is the connection that is between us, the oneness that is there between each and every one of us always. And as that's the truth of Spirit, I know it to be the truth of myself, and I know it to be the truth of you and all of our mothers and all of our mothers' mothers. I know that absolutely this life that is living itself as me and you is a life of peace and love and joy. And so as we express that which we are, that love and that peace and that joy, we are absolutely blessed. And so it's from this place of knowingness that I speak my word as the truth of all people today. I am recognizing each and every one of our mothers today. I'm recognizing the energy of motherhood, that creative essence, that nurturing power that lives within this human race and lives within all consciousness, because it's just another example of the love that God is at play in the world. And as I recognize that, and I know that to be true, I know it to be growing and expanding in all of its ways. I'm knowing that it is fulfilling this divine life that we are as individualized expressions of the divine, in love, in peace, and in joy. I am knowing that the wholeness that God is ever present. The order that God is always there. And I'm particularly knowing that for our people who are our frontline people today. I'm knowing that to be the truth of every person who is one of our medical professionals or firemen or policemen or people that are working in any of the industries, anybody that's outside of their home right now to do work. I am blessing them for allowing the rest of us to continue our lives at home, safe. I'm knowing that there are people out there that have experienced less than poverty in this moment right now. They've experienced something that is not the truth of God. And so what I am knowing is I'm knowing that the truth is that there is a life that is overflowing with abundance. And it's the truth of their life. And I'm knowing that that life, it sustains us and it guides us to know and to prosper no matter what the extent and the situation is outside of us, out in this world. I know that the prosperity and the abundance that God is fully available to us always. And so I'm knowing that it's fully available to them right here, right now. It's just a revealing of the truth that has always been their truth. And I just give thanks for all of this knowing, for knowing these truths of all the people of the world, knowing that they are love and peace and joy and absolute abundance, wholeness and order. I give thanks for that knowing, and I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. And so now is a time for a conscious contribution. And, you know, as I said last week, I wish I could ask the ushers to come forward. It's easier to give that way, isn't it? But in today's world where we are right now, we have to do it virtually. So on the screen at the moment is a slide that gives you some ways to give to Ahiah virtually. One is to sign on to our website at ahiah.com/donate and to fill in the information there with your credit card or your bank account. And you can give. You can even set up recurring giving. Another way is to text to give. And once you set that up on your phone, then it's very easy to give whenever you want to. You can also give weekly that way by putting in a dollar amount and putting weekly after that. And then it'll set you up to give regular weekly if you'd like. So however it is that you give, I just want to thank you for that gift. And I want to tell you that what you are giving to Ahiah right now, it is helping to support us in doing the mission that we have, which is not just a Sunday celebration, but it's also connecting with people and touching people's lives and bringing good into people's lives. We do that by this teaching, this philosophy that we have here. And by teaching this philosophy and bringing that to more fruition in people's lives, their awareness increases, their knowledge and knowing of spirit in their life increases, and then our lives become better. And so if you would take virtually whatever it is that you've given into your virtual hands, and just know that it's for all the good of Ahiah. And if you repeat after me, this gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving. As I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen.
Look into the windows of my mind, reflections of the fears I know I've left behind. I step out of the ordinary, I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way. Can stop me now, and you can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Ooh, you could be so many people if you make that break for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Still so many answers I don't know. I realize that to question is how we grow. So I step out of the ordinary. I can feel my soul ascending. I'm on my way. Can't stop me now. And you can do the same, yeah. What have you done today to make you feel proud? It's never too late to try. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Ooh, you can be so many people if you make that break for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Yeah, we need a change, yeah, so do it today. I can feel my spirit rise and change, yeah, we need a change, yeah, so do it today. 'Cause I can see a clear horizon. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Let me hear ya, let me hear ya, let me hear ya. What have you done today to make you feel proud? Mm-hmm. You could be so many people. Just make that break for freedom. What have you done today to make you feel proud?
And so now we have some time for a few announcements. I'd like to first ask Reverend Karen to share a little bit about her organization, Spirit Uncensored, and what they're doing today.
Hey, Spirit Uncensored friends and family, it's Reverend Karen Frost, and I wanted to send a special invitation for our Mother's Day event happening on Instagram at 4:30 Pacific Time, Sunday, May 10th. And the experience itself is diving into what it means to celebrate Mother's Day during a pandemic, recognizing that some of us are able to tap into our spiritual practice and use our spiritual tools so that we are experiencing and enjoying Mother's Day. And Tiffany Milne, a practitioner from the Global Truth Center, and her son Dylan are performing a song in celebration of what's happening. And Martha Villar, a practitioner who is with Spirit Uncensored, she's on our board, is talking about the challenges of Mother's Day. Her and her son are in different places now. He's with his grandparents. He is performing on Instagram. So we'll be diving into the dark sides and the light sides of Mother's Day. Join us this Sunday on Instagram Live. Follow it spirit.uncensored.
And so we have lots of good things showing up on our calendar going forward. And I'd like to ask Diana Lee to tell us a little bit about some of those virtual things.
I just love the Ahiah community, and thank you for allowing me to do an announcement today. I want to let you know that at the Women's Circle next Friday night at 6:30 to 8:30, depending, we have a special guest, practitioner emeritus with Ahiah, Patricia Roach. She will be speaking on our deepest fears and our biggest powers. And we hope you join us for that. This program has been specially selected and created for the Ahiah community to predecede. Saturday, we are having Reverend Dr. Terry Cole Whitaker, who is created a special program just for Ahiah. It's on all its consciousness, and it was designed in order to help us through this time and to make us better healers for ourselves and able to help more people. I'd like to read a little bit of Terry's bio. Dr. Reverend Terry Cole Whitaker has been lauded as the single most influential trailblazer of her time. She opened the spiritual and motivational gateway of opportunity for many of her students, who are today's best-selling authors, spiritual, government, and business leaders, entrepreneurs, educators, artists, and celebrities.
And you can always go to www.ahiah.com/virtual to find out more about everything that we're doing. And I'd also like to point you to our homepage, ahiah.com. Down at the bottom, we have a special donate button. During the prayer and conversation this week, we were talking, and Mindy was telling us about the Navajo and Hopi nations and how they're struggling right now, even to get such basic things as water. And they have a lot of cases that are overloading their medical system and everything. So they're in a lot of need right now. And the wonderful story is that back 140 years ago, when the potato famine happened, even though the Navajo and the Hopi were very stressed in that time of our history, they gathered money up and sent it to the Irish people to help them during their famine. And so now 140 years later, the Irish have been coming up and really stepping up to bat to help the Hopi and the Navajo nations to get through this time of crisis. We've decided to put a special button. It'll be on our website for a couple of weeks, and it takes you to the GoFundMe site. So on your screen, you're seeing the button that you can push to go to that GoFundMe. Also on our website, I'd like to let you know that if you push the other button all the way at the bottom right of the website, it will take you to a place where you can put in your information, and that'll get you on our mailing list. And that way you'll have all the information of what we're doing every week here at Ahiah. And so now I'd love for you to just join me in our benediction. And so if you would repeat after me, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it. And I share it. Just the way it appears, and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. And I would love for you to join us in our Zoom room right now. I know that Mother's Day is a busy time, but if you'd like to pop in to our Zoom room, you can go to ahiah.com/virtual and then push the Go to Zoom button there, and it'll take you right on in. We would love to chat with you for a little bit. It's wonderful getting to be with everybody after service for a little while. So I'd love to see you there, and if not then I'll see you next week. Thank you, and namaste.